ninjas, how are you doing? It's a girl, Owamie, and welcome back to another episode of To Hell and Back. If it's the first time joining us, it was definitely welcome. Please do make sure that I subscribe and hit the bell. I absolutely love you. Now, my ninjas, if you'd also like to be part of our show, please do make sure that you take the WhatsApp numbers that are going to be on your screen and send a message. My team will definitely get back to you to book so that you can also come to the studio and be part of our show. Now today, guys, I've got the gorgeous, the beautiful Karabo April. You have such a unique surname. I was just saying that. How are you?
I'm good. And how are you, Owamie?
I'm fine, thank you. You look very beautiful, by the way.
You look beautiful too. You look beautiful too.
Thank you. Yeah.
And
so please tell me.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, okay. You're welcome. Well, thank you for coming. It's a pleasure having you. I think let's start off with the surname before anything.
It fascinates you.
Yes. Whose surname is this? Is it yours? Is it your husband's?
It's mine.
It's your surname.
We're from Kimberley. You know, people from Kimberley, they have these colored surnames.
Okay.
You find your Groot Boom, your Rped, your April. They are mixed with colors.
Okay.
So my parents are from Kimberley.
Okay.
But I was born in Johannesburg.
Okay.
So I'm still using that surname.
Okay, no, that's fine. And I was asking her husband's because she came with her husband here who looks exactly like her. Like you guys
look alike.
You look like twins. You know how other people look like sister and brother? You guys look like twins. Like they look like the opposite gender version of each other. Like literally, it's so.
It makes me laugh because almost everyone when we go, we look alike.
I swear to God, I looked at you, I looked at him, and I'm like, I don't know, but I think they might be husband and wife. But these two look like brother and sister, and they're like, no, that's my husband. I'm like, oh, no, man, welcome.
Thank you, Owamie.
Welcome. So, just before we get into this story, please start off by just telling us who is Karabo. Okay. Where were you born, raised? Do you have siblings, kids? Are you married? Let's find out.
Owamie, my name is Karabo. My surname is April. I am from Soweto, in a village, in a place that's called White City.
Okay.
I was born and raised there. I'm the only girl of my parents. My parents, as I've already said, are from Kimberley, but they came to work in Joburg and they made a life in Joburg. That is where they got me in Joburg. I'm their only child. And I have two boys. It's Uleboheng and Kagiso. Yeah, that's Karabo. I'm a gender-based activist. I'm an author. I'm a counselor. I'm working for South African Police Services, but I'm not a police.
Okay. So within the police force, you are a counselor there?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, that's great. So do you see people that have now open cases, they then now come to you for counseling? Is that how it works?
Yeah, I've worked in that office, specifically that office. It's called Victim Empowerment Center.
Okay.
Or Trauma Center.
Okay.
But Victim Empowerment Center, I think it's a nice name for it because it's for victims.
Okay.
I worked in that office specifically for 19 years.
Wow.
Where I received raped victims, hijacked, people who are hijacked, that needs to open a case, they need to be cancelled to become. And I worked with abandoned children. I placed children who are lost. All social issues in the trauma center, in the victim empowerment center. Those are the cases that I worked with for 19 years.
You're very calming, so you're definitely in the right field. Even the way you speak, I feel calm, guys.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Ne?
Thanks for the comment, if that's the comment.
Yeah, no, definitely. Okay, so you wrote to us.
Yeah.
Let's get to it. Why did you write to us?
Owamie, I wrote to you because I think I need to empower women. I think I need to talk to women out there. The 19 years that I shared in that office has taught me that people are going through hell. We have our sisters who are using drugs and we don't even want to know why. We have our sisters who are prostitutes and we don't even want to know why. We have our sisters who just are promiscuous and we don't even want to know why. We have our sisters who will give birth and leave their kids and we don't even know why. And we have our baby boys who end up being in streets. We don't even want to know why. So that office has taught me so much because I am also a rape victim. I'm a rape victim and I worked with rape victims for 19 years where no one knew that I was a victim as well. So I was a victim, working with victims, and it empowered me. So the reason I'm here today, I'm here to share my story of the rape that I went through.
I'm so sorry to hear that, I'm so sorry to hear that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you can
That's life.
share. Yeah.
Okay. Owamie, I was raped. I was 22-year-old. I was pregnant with my firstborn. Highly pregnant, because if you are 6 months already, it's no more a fetus, it's a baby. And I was taken by guys from Soweto during the day, on the 26th of December. That is a day after Christmas. So I was in my area, the area that I know that I'm safe in, that I had no fear. But unfortunately that day, there were guys that were from wherever that they came from. It was 6 guys in 3 cars. So I was with my friends, then they stopped the car and then they took me, just like that. They came out of the cars with guns and everything. It was like a movie. When I was just calm and I thought it was a joke because it was during the day, it was not even in the night, and it's my area. So I thought it was a joke. So these 6 guys came out of the car, they had their guns, and then they threw me in the first car. That was a Golf. I won't forget the car. It was a Golf. I was in the car and then off we left. And my friends, I could see my friends when I was looking like at them, they were trying to chase the car with stones and they were running for the car.
So I'm so sorry, Ne. How many of you guys were there?
It was me and my 2 friends.
You and your 2 friends. So
Yeah,
it was
so
the
we
three of
were
you.
we were in the tie road. So I crossed over, I jumped, waiting for them on the other side, and they were left on the other side.
Okay.
While waiting for them, I turned around to look for them, to just watch them crossing. Unfortunately, that's the time when the cars came and they just stand there.
Okay.
And then that is how I was took.
They snatched you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Only me, and then they were
Yeah.
left. So they were watching while these guys are taking me.
Yeah.
So that is where they were starting to trying
Scream.
to scream, asking for help. But unfortunately, the car was just gone. The cars were gone. And these people had firearms, remember. They could not take a chance to come and try to rescue me or something. So we left. When we left, there was a girl in the car. I found the girl who was seated next to me. And I was confused because I thought the girl was with them because she was just calm. She was just calm, sitting there, just calm. And I was all dramatic. I was dramatic in that car. I wanted to go out. I wanted to beat them. I was jumping up and down and I was irritating them. Then the other one who was on the passenger seat just turned with a firearm. Then he knocked me just here on my forehead. And for some minutes I dozed off. Not even dozed off, because dozing off, it's something... It was lights out. I could not talk. I could not do. I just dozed off. Yeah, let me
So
say
he
dozed
used
off.
force.
He used force with the firearm, the back of the firearm. He just turned and then, wah! And I was like, off. Okay, fine. The car left. For some reasons, after probably, I assume it's 15 minutes or so, then I regained conscious again. When I regained conscious, I found myself in the same car, same people. And when I tried to scream again, then the girl just pet me, and then I felt that, okay, now I need to calm down. I need to calm down. The car was like, the cars were driving up and down the Soweto, the roads of Soweto. They were just driving up and down, up and down, and up. And so there's a place not far from where I'm staying. We came across another girl, and then the car stopped again. When the cars stopped again, the very same way that they stopped when they took me, they ran out. They came out of the cars with firearms, trying to snatch the girl again. But the girl was so quick to run away. And then when they catched her, they were left with her T-shirt, and they got annoyed, very annoyed. They shot her from the back. Yes. And they left her lying there. They went back to the cars, and we were in the car again. The journey continued as if nothing happened.
Can you please just explain to us the feeling that you had? I mean, at this point, at first, you were trying to fight.
Yeah.
And then, you got knocked by a gun.
Yes.
And then now you see them try snatch another girl. And when she ran, they shot at her.
Yeah.
What feeling did you get?
I became very numb and calm. I behaved.
Like the one that you got in the car
you got in. I behaved. Like the one I got in the... I told you that she was very calm. And I was, for some reason, I was confused. I thought she was with them. She was very calm. I was calm after that incident. Actually, after they have just knocked me with a gun, when I regained conscious and realized that I'm still in the same car, I became calm. And after they have shot the girl, I became more calmer.
More compliant, basically.
I was compliant. More calmer. Quiet. And you can imagine you seeing this lady, and you were like peeping through the window and seeing that lady lying down, and the car is passing. We left. And the first destination that they went, it was in a colored area to go and buy drugs. They bought drugs, they bought liquor, they bought so many things. But what I remember vividly, it's drugs and liquor. Fine, we went back to the car, and then we drove off. We went to Nicefield Hostel. If you're familiar with Soweto, then you will know Nicefield Hostel. When we arrived at Nicefield Hostel, the car was packed in a convoy. So our car, it was the first, then the second car, then the third car. Then when we were in the hostel, then they came out of the hostel, out of the cars. It looks like they had a meeting with the hostel dwellers. So when they went out, that was the first encounter that I had with the girl. Then we managed at least to talk. She asked me my name. I told her my name. I asked her her name. She told me her name. And then she explained that they got her from her home. She was going to buy a cold drink. So she was crossing the street as well. And then they snatched her there. So she had to behave because she saw that they were dangerous. Okay, fine. And then we shared the details, little bit details, because I told her that, I have a problem because now I'm pregnant. I'm 6 months pregnant, and I'm worried if they're going to rape us, because the intention here, I see that the end result is rape, nothing else. Rape and kill. And then I even shared my numbers. Back in the day, we had landline telephones. I told her that my number is this number, and then she told me that she's from where. Then those were the smaller details that we could share. Before going further, the other one came. The one of the guys, he came, opened the side of my door, and then he asked me to, he told me to come out of the car. And then when I was still puzzled, and then the lady said, "Don't take her, take me." And then the guy said, "Oh, you want me to take you? So come." Then he turned around, he opened the car, he took her to the next car, started raping her. I was in the car, Owamie, I was like sitting like this. I was shaking, and I could hear the girl screaming. You know, not even screaming, but sobbing. You know, and I was like, I'm next. I am next. We're still in the hostel. We're not far. We're still in the hostel.
Are you in the car at this point?
I'm in the car.
And this is happening in the car
behind me. And I could hear her sobbing. And that is where I lost hope. And that is where I said, I'm done. Like, I'm finished.
At this point, you're 6 months pregnant. Like, are you visibly pregnant?
I'm visibly pregnant.
So they could see you're pregnant?
I think they could see my pregnancy, but thugs are naive. They are naive. Even if they can see that this cup is orange, they will tell you that it's red because they want to satisfy their own minds. So they are naive. 6 months, it's far.
Yeah.
So when she came back, it was bad, Owamie. We could not say anything anymore. The only thing that we could do is just hug each other. I hugged her, and we could not say anything. I remember we tried to pray for our survival. We prayed, but there was nothing happening. The prayers could not even go to an extent that we could say amen. It was like, "Our Father," and we get disturbed, and we stop. And after she was raped, we had no more conversation because it was like, we are done. We are done.
How did you feel knowing that she kind of sacrificed herself in that moment?
Owamie,
for you.
It pains my heart till today. It pains my heart till today. Fine. When they came back, they came with the hostel dwellers now towards the car. So we could hear the conversation outside. And the conversation was, "No, they were talking Sizulu, ne? No, we brought you girls, and then we agreed with so much, and then you say you have so much, so we cannot give you with these girls with so much. So it was a negotiation of prices. So basically, we were trafficked to the hostel dwellers. So we could listen, we could hear the conversation, but unfortunately, they could not sell us. You know, in my heart, when I was listening to the conversation, I thought it was better if they were going to sell us to these hostel dwellers because we could escape, probably, because Nicefield and where I'm staying, it's close, yeah. And I was like, if they can sell us to these guys, at least I can see my way out. I can run home, you know. I'm naive. I'm just thinking something. So, unfortunately, they could not agree with the price. They could not agree with anything. Then they came back to the cars. Then we left.
So the guys that trafficked you guys were Zulus?
Yeah,
because they were
Soweto guys.
Oh,
the Soweto guys, and then we were going to be trafficked to the hostel dwellers.
And the hostel dwellers were speaking Zulus
because deep Zulu, yeah.
Okay.
This deep Zulu, yeah. You see, so these guys are Soweto. These are the Sowetans, taking their Sowetan sisters. 1994, after the we are free, you know. Yeah.
So these were all black men.
Yeah, they were black.
Wow.
Okay, so we left, and then arrived to their place. I assume it's their place because they have the keys. We open. It's just a shack, and then the shack was opened. There's this guy who was their leader. This leader would instruct them what to do, what not to do. We go in left, we go in south, we go in north. He was the one who was giving instruction to the whole crew. Remember, there were 6 all in number. Okay, fine. We arrived to this shack, and when we arrived there, he gave instructions that it's just a small shack, a bed, and just a carpet. Not even a carpet. It's not even decent, you know. And then the conversation started. You guys, that is me now. You're going to sleep on the floor on the other side of the bed. And then you, lady, you are going to sleep on top of the bed. And before we do anything, you need to strip naked. And I'm thinking, those guys, we have 6 guys here. And I need to strip naked. Are they going to rape us all of them at a go? And when we were still like looking at each other thinking, is it going to happen? Then he said, you strip naked. Then we had to take off our clothes. We took off our clothes, and we were left with nothing. No bra, no underwear, no nothing. Nothing. It was very late anyway, and then we took our places where we were placed by the boss. Okay, I slept on the floor on the other side of the bed. My friend slept there on the bed, and then they were excited. They were smoking daka. They were drinking. They were eating. There was so much happening in that shack. There was a lot of smoke. You could not even breathe, because when you breathe this smoke that there was changing. It was a lot on Owamie. There was a lot. Fine, the boss starts, and then he instructs them that I am going to start with the one on the floor. And something that I did not, I forgot to tell you. When the one who started raping the girl, when he comes back, he's asking the girl that, why have you sacrificed for her? And then she tells her that she is pregnant. You cannot do that to her. She's pregnant. Okay, fine. Now we are at the shack. At the shack, the boss instructs them that I'm going to start with the one on the floor. And while I'm busy with this one, no one touches this one. The guy that raped the other one, he says to the guy, he's even pregnant. And then the guy, the boss is saying, oh, okay, that is how I like it. Pregnant women are very nice. Owamie, have you been in a situation whereby you are lying there, closing your eyes, not knowing what you are expecting? Okay, fine. The first one came, the boss. He started raping me. Okay. And then he was finished. He went on top of the bed. He started raping. While he is raping my friend, the other one came now. So now the team was opened now. So it went on. The first one came, the second one came, the third one was raping, the fourth one, the fifth, up until the cycle is finished. Owamie, in my life, I've never cried the way I cried. I cried, and I thought that amongst the 6, probably one will say it's enough. It never happened. And it was like a cycle. It went on just like that. they will, when they finish the six, all of them, when they're done, they will be starting now smoking again, taking drugs, drinking alcohol, doing whatever. Then again, for me to realize that the cycle has started is when the boss comes in. Why am I saying that? The boss had an operation from his chest down to the belly. It was the staples. That time, the staples, the staples. And they were still fresh. So when he touches me, my tummy, it's bigger and it's harder. So when he touches my tummy, I could feel that, now it's the boss again. Because you lost count of, you lost the count because you don't know now what is happening. You just expect that somebody's now coming on top of you. Somebody's now coming on top of you. That's that. It happened for the first day. It happens for the second day. In the morning, during the day, in the evening, nights. It happened for the second day. It has been for the third day. Up until the last day, it was for the fourth. That is where we escaped with my friends. That is where we came back home. Owamie, the situation was bad in that house, in that room, that you cry up until you don't want to cry. Not that you don't want to cry, because you don't have water anymore. When you swallow your saliva, you could feel that it's paining. It's painful here. There was a time where the boss would rape me and tie my hands on top of my head just to rape me. So these guys, they inflicted pain in our soul so bad that when we escaped, and even the escape, it was an initiative of a friend, because they would change routine. Early hours, your 3:30, early hours, the 3 will go and do whatever they're doing, robbing people, because when they come back, they will come with cell phones, laptops, everything. So you would see that it means they are early hours robbing. Then they would come back, then we will be left with the 3. Then the following day, just like that. So the friend who was on the top, she could see all the movements, the changing of the keys, going out, coming in. I could see nothing. So she was so vigilant, because even if during the days that we would be left for those minutes, she would just peep, just to check if I'm still okay, and I would just raise a hand just to say I'm still okay. So the lady was so intelligent, Owamie. Hey, this lady was so intelligent. She could recognize their movements. They're coming in and they're going out. Who's holding the key, who's not holding the key. He was so she was so intelligent. She was brilliant. And she would check on me. You can imagine, I've been raped by 6 guys, much as she's been raped by 6 guys, but she would always check on me. Karabo, is the baby moving? And I would just nod my head. Yeah, I don't feel the baby now. I can't feel the baby. The baby, it's She was so caring. And when we escaped, she's the one who made means that now she woke me up and she said, Karabo, we need you to leave. And I said, how so? And then he said, no, I saw the key from one of the guys. They are now sleeping dead with drugs. I saw the key where they left the key. So we need to wake up. And unfortunately, we don't have clothes, and our clothes are nowhere here in this room. So there was a cupboard that we found, and we opened. We got T-shirts, just a white shirt, and then we put those T-shirts on, and she shook the one with the key. She managed to get the key from the one, and they were dead. Sometimes I say they were not dead. God made them to sleep because it was now time for us to leave. God made them to sleep because those guys, no. So she got the key from one of them, and then we got ourselves the T-shirt. We had no power. We could not run. We could not talk. We could not do anything. We had to lift each other. But she was more concerned with me. And when we got to the gate, that girl was brilliant. When we got to the gate, we had to split ways. She suggested that. She always came with suggestion. She suggested that, you know what, Karabo, you need to go that way and I go that way, because probably if they can wake up, they will find us both in the same place. It's going to be a problem. But if we split ways, one of us will get help and then we'll tell, okay, fine. When we got to the gate, when we had to split, that girl came to me and she said, look for me and I will look for you. Hey, that one kills me. Then we went separate ways. Then I was running. I had no power. I had to sit. I had to take a breather. I had to run, and dogs are barking. It's bad. It's bad. And I'm like praying that, hey, if I can just get home. And I'm seeing ways that, no, if I can go this way, if I can go this way, you know what? But finally I got home and I found my parents praying for me.
You ran to home?
I ran to home. Even today, Owamie, I don't know how. I don't even remember the place that we were held in because I wanted to check the place. I don't remember the place.
Wow.
I don't remember the place. I ran home. I found my mom and dad praying for me. And at least when I got home, that is where I managed to breathe. And I felt, and they picked me up, and it was a joyous moment. And yeah, I had to, my mom did not even want to hear the story. My mom did not even want me to mention what happened. She just said, hush now, baby, you are home. Hush now. What happened, it does not matter anymore. What matters that our only child is back home. And yeah, it was very much a joyous day that I came back home still alive with a baby that we needed to go and check if he is still alive, but the baby is alive. He has grown, but the impact of that issue of the rape, it destroyed my parents. Most especially my father. My father tended to be a drunkard, Owamie. A very, very high known drunkard, because when he was drunk he would always say he failed to protect his only girl who was pregnant. My father passed on being a drunkard, so every time when I see a man, young, old, being very drunk, drinking non-stop, it takes me back to my dad. That I don't know his struggles because I know my dad's struggles. And it was not a conversation that we could talk about in the house because it was just too painful for my mom. It was just too painful. Then my mom passed on. That is where I started to unleash, to talk about my ordeal, write a book about my ordeal because she was no more. And after I gave birth, I was 6 months. I had just to cope for 3 months. Then I gave birth. The girl, remember I told you that I gave her my numbers? She remembered my numbers. And before I gave birth, her mom called my mom that, no, Sylvia arrived safe home. She's home. And my mom told her that, no, Karabo also arrived home safely. She's home. Then they started communicating. when I gave birth to my child, my mom called because they stayed a longer period not talking. Then my mom called to tell them that the baby is safe. Karaba gave birth. Unfortunately, Sylvia was no more. Sylvia took her life. In a sense that, Owamie, I always think, my thinking, I always say to myself, I wish that probably she was not dead. Probably her mom thought that it was okay not to communicate and talk about this ordeal. So probably that's the only way that would separate us from her talking about the ordeal, because she did not take it well. And I understand that she could not take it well because she did so much for me. So much for me. Remember, I was supposed to be the first one to be raped, but she took it. And every time she was the one who was checking on me if the baby is okay. And for the escape, she was the one. Ish.
She was the mastermind.
Oh my God. Yeah. So that is Karabo for you. That is the story that I'm sharing with you, Owamie, just to empower women out there. And there's something that I want to put on the table to say, rape is something that is funny. It can happen so many years back, but you can still remember it as it is. There are people that will come to you and tell you that I was raped by my dad when I was 5 years old. Believe that child.
Yeah.
Believe her. Because the more you grow, the clearer it becomes. The more understanding you see that it happened. And it happened like this, that looks like this. It's a scar that will never, never, never go away. So yeah, women need to be empowered.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
It's the fact that I'm even more emotional than you right now. I'm so sorry. But what I also want to know is the time that you guys were locked up, did they ever offer you guys food?
Never. The only thing that they offered me is a bucket to pee, because I was pregnant. So I would pee every time, and they got irritated. We did not eat for 3 days. We did not drink for 3 days. The only thing that I think I irritated them in such a way that they wanted to get the bucket just for me to have myself, just to pee. That is the only thing that they gave us.
So I would also like to know the aspect of, I'm sure you did go to the police,
When I got missed, my parents went to the police station to go and open a missing file person, because they did not know what happened that time. So they went to open a missing file person. Then it was fine. When I came back, it was now the charges had to be added. It was now not missing. Now it was kidnap, rape, assault, trafficking, something like that. Yeah, I did open a case, but I did not go further with the case. It was 3 months of me to take care of the unborn child. I had no strength. I could not talk about the rape. Remember, I told you that my mother could not take it. So I left it. No police came to me to check. We're looking for you. We see that you are back. We need to take this further. So it just it just died like that.
How did it make you feel? Because as an adult, I know it's a bit of a selfish move, but I fully understand. For me, a stranger listening to this, it breaks my heart.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine a mother.
Yeah.
She also was trying to protect herself as best as she could. But you being that young, how did you feel of the fact that she did not want to even hear it?
Owamie, it broke my heart. No, for her not to want to talk about it, I understood it, because every time when I spoke about it, I cried. It broke my heart. I cried. I would probably start talking about it in the morning and not eat, not sleep, not do anything. I would cry continuously. So I think for her, she felt that it's better that we don't talk about this thing up until she is ready. I think she was giving me that you will be ready sometime. One day you will be ready, and one day you will be able to talk about it freely. So as I am talking about it today, you know, I think that is probably how she saw it, and it assisted me. But the most place that assisted me, it's me working with rape victims at the victim empowerment center. It assisted me. So I cannot say that I was angry with my mom that she did not want me to talk about this, because as a person it affected me badly. So I when I looked at my father, like being an alcoholic every day, it broke my heart as well. So I think now is the time. I'm ready. I can talk about it, not shedding a tear, and empowering other women.
What would you say was the biggest change after you now came back? You know, your dad became a drunkard. Did that affect his job? How was now the living situation at home? Because I feel like all of you were mourning. You know, he's dealing with feeling like he never protected his child. Your mother is also dealing with the same feelings and worse, I feel. You know, as a mother, you never want to see your child hurt. And you as well, that also is a mother to be. Did you ever feel some sort of, which again 100% like you wouldn't have to, but being pregnant, did you also feel like I maybe could have done something to protect, because these people were doing this and my child was in me? Did you ever blame yourself at any point?
You know, Owamie, for some reasons I suppressed everything. When I came back, I suppressed everything. I did not want to talk about it. I did not want to share anything about it. I acted as if nothing happened. I acted as if I was just fearful of everything. Because, you know, when I came back, I had to continue with my antenatal clinics. My dad had to cover me there. My dad had to sit there at the clinic, and they will always ask, why is your dad coming with you, you know, here? They did not know, they did not understand the pain that my dad and me went through, because he was now trying to protect me with everything, you know. And, you know, it was something that it happened, and we are keeping mom, you know. Because when I gave birth to my child was bruised on the other side because of the gun that they were hitting me in my on my tummy. So the sister who was assisting me, it was like, guys, you know, you young girls that use drugs and drink, you see now what type of children are you bringing to earth? So this child is bruised because of your own mistakes. Owamie, I could not even protect myself and explain to the nurse or matron or whatever the lady was. I could not even protect myself to say, lady, I'm from hell. I just kept quiet, and she went on and on and on and on and on and on. That is how I suppressed the conversation. I could not protect myself where I was supposed to protect myself. I could not. It was something that happened, and it's a closed door that you cannot even open. So the entire healing process was even more bad. It was even more painful. Of such comments that you come across, people that they don't know what was going on, that will be telling you that you are irresponsible, you are bringing such babies on earth. These babies don't deserve to be like this because of your carelessness and stuff like those. And the healing process was painful as well. the person who impregnated me, we had to go and sihambisa isisu. In our culture, when you are pregnant, they will be taking you to the family.
Yeah.
Even the grandmother did not make it easy for me. The grandmother was telling me about that incident. Now you are back from the incident, and then now you are saying, my grandchild has impregnated you. You need to go back and look for those people who did this to you. The process was still painful. It was an ongoing pain, you know. It was not easy, not at all. There was never an easy time where I was like saying, oh, at least now I'm home, I'm back, you know, I'm healing nicely. The healing was not even nice. Even the day when I came back after 3 days, when I went to the clinic to get some medication and checkups, and the counselors were just careless about the situation. They were talking about their breakfast. I had to leave without getting any prophylaxis. You know, I had to leave. So, you know, me coming back, it was not even easy. You go this side, I'm going to give birth. The sister is telling me about my irresponsibility giving birth to the baby who's bruised. I'm going to the father's place to go and beka isisu. They're telling me about me with my boyfriends, my 6 boyfriends who took me. You go into counseling, you get people who are eating, who are talking about their breakfast, makunya aizolo and stuff like those. So, you see, you get home, you get your father who is frustrated, who doesn't know how to handle the situation anymore, who wants to protect you more, and he cannot protect you. You know, it's a mess. You come to your mother is so broken. You make yourself an introspection. You are hurting still. You're still hurting, and you're hurting with something that you don't even want to talk about. You're taking yourself, you get the flashbacks, and you are imagining this girl, you're remembering this girl who was taking the blame, and you think that this girl is no more. You know, it's a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot, Owamie. The healing was not easy either. It was not easy. Not at all. It took me 19 years to heal.
Wow.
19 years.
Sure. Do you think that maybe, you know, the lady that you were with, she might have taken her life because she also maybe like felt like maybe she didn't get enough support of everything that maybe she was going through?
I wouldn't know because we don't know each other.
Okay.
We don't know. We met that day, and she protected me the way she protected me that day. And we went our separate ways with a very warm hug. That was the warmest hug after the ordeal. That was the first time we held each other in other's hands. And that was the end. You know, it was like an angel who came to rescue you, then he leaves.
Yeah.
Or she leaves.
She was definitely a godsend.
She
was definitely a godsend. And you know how God is so intentional with everything. Because when you started speaking, I was like, but why would they take a pregnant woman and put her on the floor and take a one that's not pregnant and put her on the bed? But God knew.
I would have been useless.
Thank you.
I would have been
sorry
useless.
to say,
I would have been
but
useless.
God knew that actually, they need to put her on the bed because she's the one that is going to actually get them, you know, out here.
I would have been useless because I was forever drowsy. I was forever. The fact that that guy ended up taking his own shoelaces and tied them over my head, that is how useless I was. You see? So that is why I'm saying that lady, we met, we were raped, both of us. We went separate ways. We never met again. We never met again. And those flashbacks that comes when I always imagined her talking to me, saying to me, Karabo, is the baby moving? You know, those silent questions that are down with that soft voice that, is the baby moving? And me drowsy answering, no, I can't feel the baby moving. I had those flashbacks. It was hard.
After you left, Were you scared that these people might come for you?
You're very much. I was scared. I could not walk freely on the streets. I was, it took me, I think, a year to get used to walk by myself. A year. And if I can come across that same car
Model, yeah.
it was a Golf, City Golf. If I can come across that type of City Golf, I sweat from feet to toes to head to everything. It took me a year to get used to being myself again, get used to walk alone, get used to doing things on my own. It took a year. It was not easy. Not at all.
Yeah. Did you ever stay in contact with, stay in contact, or have you ever spoken to that lady's mom since she took her life?
It's my mom who was talking to her mom. They were talking to each other, but it was not a frequent thing. They would just talk that day and that day. That is why we spoke to her after I gave birth. So it was not a frequent thing.
So did you know after how long you guys had escaped that she took her life?
Not at all.
You didn't know.
No.
But you know it was within that 3 months.
Yeah, within the 3 months.
Wow. Yo. I am so sorry.
Yeah. Those are the things that we're going through, Owamie, as people, as women. We're going through a lot, and people would see you being terrible like this. They don't know what you went through. You've been through hell, and you're just holding your head high because you have no choice. Because I had no choice, because I had to live for the child that was coming through. I had to be strong. I had to forget about everything, about the rape, about the assault, about the kidnapping, the trafficking. I had to just be like closing the door that I did not want to open and concentrated on the child. Because I had to give birth to that child, because that was my firstborn. And I was the only child to my parents. You see what was happening to the family. The family was a little bit growing nyana, So I had to. That is why sometimes they would ask me that, why did I leave the case not to do any follow-ups? I had no time. I had no time, and I did not want to go to court and traumatize myself. Insists on telling people that they raped me, and they will be arguing that they did not rape me and knowing very well that they raped me. So I did not want to go through that.
And the one witness that you had took her life?
Took her life.
Do you think your fate would have also been different had it been that you were not expecting a child?
I'm not sure, Owamie, because I think, I'm from a Christian family. My parents are your warriors of prayer, and I think what helped me to be strong coming back, it's their prayers, nothing else.
Yeah.
No counseling did anything to me but prayers. They kept me strong and they kept me going. So I'm not sure if it would have been the same if it wasn't about for the baby.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure. But what I know, that prayers kept me till this far.
How were you able to cope and direct yourself into healing? Meanwhile, the perpetrators never paid for what they did to you.
As I said, fortunate enough, I got a job, and I was directed to this specific office with no question with what the station commander of that year, he just called me and said, April, you are reporting to this office from now on. And that office taught me so much. That office molded me. When I was in a conversation with the person who was being raped, I was like putting myself in those shoes, and it healed me in a way. It gave me a purpose of healing, because some people would come and they would say they were raped when they were 5 years old, and there's no evidence to show. And for me, I think it was trauma for you to say, I know it's my uncle who raped me, and I don't have, because that uncle is going to win the case because there's no evidence.